Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. Apple is absolutely terrified of the budget market, but they are bleeding living room market share to a $30 piece of plastic from Amazon, and it is driving Cupertino up the wall. We have been tracking the space for years, and now thanks to some wild new supply chain leaks, we finally understand why you still cannot buy a truly cheap Apple TV. Spoiler alert, Apple's marketing team literally killed it. Yes, you heard me right. They killed the Apple TV stick because they genuinely thought it would cheapen the brand. Honestly, I will believe it when I see the final balance sheets, but holding on to the infamous Apple tax when you are getting thoroughly dismantled by Roku and Google TV is a remarkably bold strategy. Reminds me of the time we first saw companies insisting that plasma displays would always command a massive premium, right before LCDs completely ate their lunch. Let's separate the real leaks from the noise today, because what is actually happening behind closed doors is fascinating. We currently have conflicting reports from reliable sources like Ming-Chi Kuo, Mark Gurman, and the deep Asian supply chain that all point to a massive impending pivot in Apple's living room strategy. If you look closely at the current Apple TV 4K, you have to admit it is an absolute beast of a machine. The 2022 model is running an A15 Bionic chip. For context, that is the exact same silicon sitting inside the iPhone 13, but here it is not thermally throttled under the heavy loads of a sealed glass phone chassis. It sits there plugged into the wall, acting as a perfectly seamless daily driver for smart home setups. The integration with the broader Apple ecosystem is undeniably unmatched, but there is a catch, and it is a big one. It starts at $129 for the base 64GB Wi-Fi model. Meanwhile, Google just slashed the price of their new Google TV streamer 4K down to around $76, and you can grab a 4K Fire Stick for roughly the price of two decent lattes. Because of this stubborn pricing floor, Apple is currently sitting in a rather embarrassing distant fifth place in streaming box market share. Fifth, they are trailing far behind Roku, Amazon, Google, and even Samsung's built-in Tizen operating system. Mark Gurman over at Bloomberg recently dropped a bit of a bombshell regarding this. He noted that Apple actually had a fully functional, highly affordable Apple TV stick ready to roll off the assembly line. It was designed as a simple, elegant dongle that would just plug right into the back of your television, completely bypassing the need for a heavily machined aluminum or plastic box. But Apple executives nixed the project at the 11th hour. They decided it was simply too down-market. They wanted to keep the hardware premium. But here is where my skepticism kicks in, and perhaps yours does too. Does keeping the hardware premium actually matter if you're actively losing out on millions of potential Apple TV Plus and Apple Arcade subscriptions? In today's tech landscape, content is king, and by keeping the toll so exceptionally high, Apple is effectively locking themselves out of the living room. But wait, because Ming-Chi Kuo is stepping into the ring with a completely different angle, and this is where things get genuinely interesting. Kuo is heavily suggesting that a sub-$100 Apple TV is still the absolute sweet spot for the company, and he expects the next generation to hit that precise mark. How on earth do they pull that off without releasing the cheap stick they just canceled? According to industry sources over at DigiTimes and The Elec, Apple is currently tweaking their TSMC 3nm yields. Now we know they have a massive surplus of older chips, which is standard operating procedure for Cupertino. But the rumor mill is spinning up a rather wild idea. The next Apple TV could actually house the A17 Pro. Yes, the exact same cutting-edge 3nm silicon that launched with the iPhone 15 Pro. Now I know exactly what you're thinking. Why on earth would a budget streaming box need an A17 Pro? Two words for you: Apple Intelligence. Running large language models locally on a television box requires serious neural engine throughput. Apple wants Siri to actually work on your television. We are not talking about the old, frankly useless Siri that can barely find a YouTube video without getting confused and giving you a Wikipedia summary. We are talking about the new generative Siri that can parse complex natural language commands. Imagine saying, "Show me that movie where the guy steals the Declaration of Independence," and having it actually pull up National Treasure without a single glitch, bypassing the standard metadata tags entirely. That kind of localized processing takes serious desktop-class horsepower. If Makadakara's recent supply chain checks hold any water, Apple is also developing their own custom Wi-Fi and Bluetooth combo chip. Moving away from Broadcom components would save them a few crucial dollars per unit, which might be exactly how they intend to get the retail price down to that magic $99 target. When you look at the A15 Bionic currently sitting inside the Apple TV, you're looking at a highly refined 5nm process. It is incredibly efficient. But moving to the N3B or N3 process from TSMC for the A17 Pro changes the hardware game entirely. We are talking about massive generational gains in memory bandwidth and hardware-accelerated ray tracing. Those of us who remember the leap from the standard definition era to high definition know that these physical hardware shifts change user behavior. Imagine playing natively rendered AAA titles like Resident Evil or Death Stranding directly on your television without needing to shell out $500 for a PlayStation 5. That is the endgame for Apple. They do not just want to sell you a box that plays Netflix in the background while you scroll on your phone. They want to sell you a silent micro console that completely locks you into the Apple Arcade ecosystem. But they know they cannot achieve that paradigm shift if the barrier to entry remains north of $130. They desperately need the volume. There is another massive shift happening in the smart home space right now that Apple is definitely watching, and it directly impacts this hardware cycle. Walmart is apparently partnering up with Google to launch an unbranded smart speaker powered by Gemini, specifically designed to aggressively undercut Amazon's Echo devices. People are getting incredibly frustrated with Alexa lately. The aggressive upselling, the weird ad insertions, the unsolicited backtalk when you just want the living room lights off. Users simply want a speaker that tells them the weather and manages the thermostat without asking if they want to subscribe to paper towel deliveries. Apple's HomePod Mini is a fantastic piece of audio engineering, but it is expensive for what it is. A cheaper Apple TV could act as the ultimate Trojan horse for the entire smart home. Combine a $99 A17 Pro powered Apple TV with HomeKit, Thread, and Matter integration. And suddenly Apple has a centralized, incredibly powerful hub that completely undercuts everyone else on sheer processing power and privacy. We also have to look at the sales data from their other divisions to understand the broader strategy here. Look at the MacBook Air. Apple recently kept the older M-series MacBook Air in the lineup at a heavily reduced price, and it is absolutely flying off the shelves. It is routinely backordered for weeks on major retail sites. Apple knows perfectly well that when they lower the price of entry into their walled garden, the sheer volume of software and service sales more than makes up for the lower upfront hardware margins. Prominent display analysts like Apple Pro and Ross Young have both recently hinted that a significant display technology change is coming to Apple's broader home lineup, including a heavily rumored smart display hub. If Apple is genuinely building a unified operating system for the home, the Apple TV box is destined to be the central brain of that entire operation. But the competition is certainly not waiting around for Cupertino to make up its mind. We are seeing massive consolidations and shifts across the tech and media sectors. Disney, for instance, is aggressively training its workforce on artificial intelligence, with some employees reportedly hitting platforms like Claude over 50,000 times a day for coding and special effect generation. The media landscape is moving at breakneck speed. Apple simply cannot afford to let their living room strategy stagnate, while Amazon buys up live sports rights, and Google pushes deeply subsidized AI hardware into massive retailers like Walmart. So where does all of this leave us as consumers who just want reliable tech that respects our time and our wallets? The 2022 Apple TV 4K is a genuinely fantastic piece of hardware, but my advice right now is simple. Do not buy it unless your current setup has completely died and you absolutely need a replacement today. The supply chain rumors strongly point to an imminent refresh. Whether it ends up packing the A16 Bionic or makes the leap to the A17 Pro, whether they actually manage to hit that magical $99 price point Q is predicting, or whether they just give us a standard Wi-Fi 7 bump to keep pace with modern routers, new hardware is absolutely inevitable. Personally, I suspect we are going to see a completely redesigned thermal profile. We could potentially see them dropping the internal fan entirely, thanks to the incredible thermal efficiency of those newer TSMC nodes, which would, in turn, drastically reduce their manufacturing costs. They might not give us that ridiculously cheap $30 TV stick we all thought we wanted, but a sub-$100 premium box would instantly disrupt the entire streaming market and put serious pressure on the competition. I want to hear from you on this one. Would you actually buy an Apple TV if it dropped to $99? Or are you perfectly happy letting your television's increasingly sluggish native interface handle all your streaming needs? Let me know down in the comments because I am genuinely curious how many of you are holding out for a proper upgrade before you pull the trigger. And if you found this breakdown helpful, consider hitting that like button and subscribing. It helps us keep cutting through the hype to bring you the actual tech reality. We will see you in the next one.